Good afternoon, students. In my previous class, we have discussed about the 5 kingdom classifications. Its merits, demerits, and what are the demerits which leads to the development of 6 kingdom classification that is proposed by Carl Wood, which is known as the 3 domain of life. So, we will first discuss about, let us say about what actually the 6 kingdom classification is. I will see this 6 kingdom classification. See the 6 kingdom classification which is proposed by Carl Wood in 1990, which is also called as 3 domains of life. That means there are 3 domains. That means if you take the organism into consideration, you will find there are 3. First one is archaea, second one is your eubacteria, third one is your eukarya. Now, whatever these are the 3 domains. Now, if you see this archaea and this eubacteria, these 2 you can say is the 5 kingdom classification Monera. Under Monera, now it has been divided into archaea and eubacteria. Archaea you will find the ancient, the primitive bacteria, the primitive ones. So, we will see the latter part about this one. Then your eubacteria, the true bacteria, the true bacteria, whatever basically we call it as the bacteria, and the remaining 5 kingdom classification, that is your Monera. Left that is then Protista, your Plantae, Fungi and Animalia. These 4 are now included under eukarya. But if you see, then you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, so this is how the 6 kingdom classification is there. That means it has given more clarity or more classification to this Monera, where it has divided this bacteria into archaebacteria and eubacteria. That how it has now more simplified. But if you see, this 6 kingdom classification is the major challenge or major drawback which arise, that is called the position of your virus, because no position or nothing has been dealt with the virus. So, from this we can say the position of virus is not clear. So, the position of virus is not clear. So, that is a question mark. Now, that leads where actually the virus is. Now, let us talk about that what is the status of virus. So, that will give us the idea. Actually, this is one organism, it shows lot of similarity with living and lot of similarity with non-living, which results that the virus is you can say is in between the living and non-living. Now, I will go to that portions, that is called, we will deal with that status of virus. Now, if you see the virus, this organism is a very interesting one. That means, this organism, if you this structure you will see, it will very easy to remember, then you will find it has a coat like structure, and this coat you will find is called as the outermost coat, which is made of protein, that is called your capsid, and you will find in this portion a collar like structure is there. You will find a collar like structure is there, and towards the end you will find these are the tail, you will find, and here a base is there, and this is called your tail fiber. These are called your tail fiber. So, if you see in between this, you will find this is your the nucleic acid. So, you will find this is your nucleic acids. So, this is your protein coat. So, we can say the capsid or the protein. So, these are your nucleic acid. So, that is your DNA, you can say here is the it is the DNA. This is the color. These are the tail, this is the tail fiber, this is the base plate, we can say this is the base plate. Now, what particularly it shows that this structure made of two things. You will see this virus, it is made of two things. One is your capsid, another is your nucleic acid, or we can say your nucleoid. Capsid, another is your nucleoid. So, that particularly called as the genome. This is called your the protein. Now, if you see the definition of a virus is, it is a nucleoprotein entity that we should write, or always should write. This is a nucleoprotein entity. It is a nucleoprotein entity because made of nucleic acid and protein, and most important that it able to utilize the machinery, it is able to utilize the machinery of a living cell, that means it is utilizing the machinery of a living cell, that particularly we call it as host. It is utilizing that living cell, that is the host, for what? For that is the another living cell for its multiplications, for its own multiplications it utilize the cell of another one, that is the host. And the most important thing is here that there is no growth and no division. There will be no growth and no divisions. That is the uniqueness. So, if you see these things, the is a virus definition itself, it is a nucleoprotein entity which utilizes the machinery of a living cell of a other cell to have multiplications, and there is no growth and no divisions. So, this shows that it is depending upon others for its multiplications. Now, if you see the structures of this capsid and nucleoid, we can have certain idea that this capsid is the unit which made of number of protein called as capsomers. If you take the tobacco mosaic virus, you will find there are 2130 capsomers. These are 2130 capsomers, and you will find that these are the protein molecules which covers the nucleic acids. Similarly, if you another things also, some cases you will find, I will talk about this envelope, which is sometimes also you will find the outer covering. So, you will find the most important thing is that your nucleoid or the genetic material, or you can say the nucleic acid. Now, this nucleic acid can be of two types, that can be DNA or it can be RNA. Now, as we know, the DNA can be again of two types, that is double stranded DNA or it can be a single stranded DNA. Similarly, RNA can be a double stranded and it can be a single strand. Now, if you talk about double stranded DNA, some of the virus where the genetic material is a double stranded DNA, that is your T2 T4 series, that is your example. Similarly, if you take your single strand DNA, this is your polyphase or 5X174, these are example. Similarly, if you take example of RNA double strand, you will find your retrovirus, this is your tumor virus, that is your double strand RNA, single strand, it will be almost all everybody you must be knowing, that is your HIV, then your retrovirus, and the most important of today's, that is your coronavirus. That is coronavirus, which is a single strand RNA. So, if you will see the structures of this HIV, coronavirus, these certain things you will find in addition to this capsid and nucleate, they have one additional envelope, because they must have some spike like outgrowth. They must have some spike like outgrowth, they remain as the envelope. That is an additional coating like you will find in the virus. Now, this in addition to this capsid nucleoid envelope, some of the virus also contain certain enzymes, because it carry out lot of multiplication, it carry out its activities. So, it contains enzymes like RNA polymerase, and your reverse transcriptase Now, this gives us the idea about the structure of virus. This gives us the idea of the structure of virus. Now, if you see this structure of virus and you will compare that how the virus is differentiated from virids. If you see how the virus is different from virids. If you see, it is a very interesting one. Sometimes it comes as a in the exam, differentiate between your virus and virids. Virus and virids. Now, if you see the name itself, virus is, I think, is a broader one, that is called, that means it contains, if you talk about from the nucleoprotein, other dita jaka rahibo, it contain nucleoprotein particle bhitar rahibo, dita jaka achi, nucleic acid protein, ethi only gotiye jinsa rahibo, only nucleic acid jete rahibo, that is RNA particle rahibo, that will be called as the virid, without any protein. Similarly, ethi nucleic acid can be RNA or DNA, but here the nucleic acid is only RNA. The nucleic acid is only RNA. Here you will find the protein covering the nucleic acid, that is coat is there, but here coat is absent. Here coat is absent. Similarly, these are larger. You can say this structure is larger, this is smaller in size. Particularly, you will find it infect all types. It can infect all types because it contains, but it does infect only plants. Now, in addition to this, you can add also more point how this virus is differentiated from the virids. In addition to that, we can go for the reproduction or you can say viral multiplications. You can say go for two type of reproduction, or basically we called as virus multiplications. There are two type of multiplications in virus. One is lysogenic, another is lytic and lysogenic. So, if you see this lysogenic and lytic, because we know the virus, it will infect or it will go to a host, other living organism, there it multiplies its number. So, if it is a lysogenic method of multiplications, what will happen? The host cell does not lysed, माने breakdown habo nahi, it doesn't lysed, it will remain as such. But here lytic means there will be breakdown. The host cell where the viral multiplying, the host cell undergoes lysis. That means it will kill that host cell and it will go out of it. Another things, host cell has its own DNA genetic material, viral is its own genetic, it will go and integrated. Some cases it will integrated, some cases it will not integrated. That means, in this the virus particle is integrated with host DNA. Host DNA सहित integrated ହେଇଯିବ, but here it will not, doesn't integrated with the host DNA. So many things are there, but if you see, this is how we can differentiate it between lysogenic lytic virus and virids. Now, from this we basically conclude that virus is, the status of virus is that it shows lot of living characters and some of non-living characters. Now, that we have to see. So, because it is in between, you can say the status of virus is in between living and non-living. That means, it is showing some of the living character, it is showing some of the non-living character. If you see the living characters, we know it can multiply. Living it has first asibo presence of genetic material, it has nucleic acid. Okay. Second, it has ability to multiply. Second, it has ability to infect kari paruchi other organism को infect kari paruchi. It can also go for mutation, mutation kari paruchi. Okay, these are living character. Non-living characters देखिया जदि आधेरे कोनो lack of protoplast और protoplast नहीं, आरो absence of respiration होनी, absence of respiration, absence of growth, absence of division. So, these are the non-living character, these are the living character. So, this gives us a conclusion that the status of virus is in between living and non-living, or you can say it is in between or intermediate. It is intermediate between living and non-living. So, this is how we can discuss. We discuss about the status of virus. Next, we will go to the next part of our discussion, that is we have studied the 5 kingdom classification, that is your Monera, Protista, Plantae, Fungi, Animalia. Now, so far the plant science is concerned, these portions I will discuss with the classifications and the salient features of Monera, Protista, Fungi and the plant groups, that is algae, fungi, bryophyte, pteridophyte and the gymnosperms. So, and lichen we will discuss their features and what are the unique characters of these groups of plants. So, let us come to, we will discuss about today about Monera, Protista and fungi. In the next class I will go for the rest of these things. So, let us talk about the kingdom Monera. So, if you see this kingdom Monera, you will find that this Monera are the prokaryotes. These are the, we know these are the prokaryotes and they have no true nucleus. No true nucleus is there, and you will find these are the earliest form. These are the earliest form of life. These are the earliest form of life. And one important thing, they can adapt to all types of habitat. Adapt to all types of habitat. Including this, you will find that this kingdom Monera is divided into 2 major groups. It is divided into 2 major groups. That is, one is your Archaebacteria, or basically we call it Archaea, and another is your Eubacteria. that we have seen in your six kingdom classification. So, when you talk about this Archaebacteria, this is called also known as the ancient bacteria. These are called the ancient bacteria. So, these ancient bacteria you will find they are existing from the just after the origin of the earth. So, you can say these are the oldest organisms. So, that is why they are called as living fossils. That means those organisms of that generation everybody has gone, but this group of organisms still surviving. So, these are the living fossils, this ancient bacterium, and you will find they are also called extremophiles. That means in extreme and harsh conditions they can survive. That is very uniqueness, that is the uniqueness of this group of Archaebacteria, and particularly they are divided into three groups you will find. One is, first one you will find they are the halophiles, second one is your methanogens, third one is thermoacidophiles. You must be knowing halophiles means that is these are the salt loving bacteria. So, those areas where salty marshy land are there, you will find this group of bacteria are there. Methanogens you will find this methane producing bacteria, and particularly you will find it is in the gut of cows and buffaloes. You will find this methane, this group of organisms are there, and another one is the thermoacidophile, means it will find extreme acidic condition and extreme temperature, extreme temperature, high temperature and high acidic conditions, that is spring sulfurs. You will find these are the conditions where this group of bacteria they survive. So, this shows that these are very unique group of bacteria which remain in the extreme and harsh conditions. Now, if you will see the next group of that is called your eubacteria, which is again also two type. One is called the cyanobacteria, second one is called the true bacteria. Okay. We will now discuss detail about this bacteria and the cyanobacteria. So, if you see the structure of bacteria, which is very important, because from the examination point of view we need to know the structure, the reproduction, and what sort of economic importance this group of organism is there. So, let us talk about first about the bacteria. Okay, if you see this bacteria structure, you will find, if you see the bacteria very unique features of this bacteria are there, and one very important thing you must be knowing, the Antony von Leeuwenhoek in 1676 actually he point out that group these organisms, and you will find, let us talk about the various properties of bacteria. Okay. So, let us talk about the important characters. First, let us talk, these are called unicellular. The cell wall is of peptidoglycan. The cell wall is made of peptidoglycan. Then you will find that is these are the prokaryotic organism having naked circular DNA, which basically we called as nucleoid. Why these are naked circular DNA? Because they have no histone protein. You will not find these histone proteins are attached to this group of this group of DNA. So, in addition to this, you will find they have a Y-shaped fork structure called your mesosome, which mesosomes, which is the called the infolding of plasma membrane. The plasma membrane is enfolded in the form of mesosomes. In addition to this, you will find the ribosomes. The ribosomes is 70S, and you will find no membrane bound organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, all are absent here. Okay. In addition to this, you will find this group of organism, they have a flagella, which is made of a protein called flagellin. It made of a is called a flagellin. So, and you will find the binary fission is the dominant phase of its multiplications, particularly you go for the binary fission. Now, with these properties, when we will talk about the different shape of bacteria, if we will talk about the shape of bacteria, you will find some of the bacteria are like this. These are called the spherical. These are spherical, and it is also called as your cocos. This is called cocos. Then second one you will find these are the rod shaped. You will find rod shaped. These are called your bacillus. These are called your bacillus. Sometimes you will find it is a spiral. You will find these are the these are so spirillum. These are spirillum, that means it is coil like. It is coil like. Sometimes you will find it is a comma shape. It is a comma shape, that is, and it is known as your Vibrio. You must be knowing Vibrio cholera, Vibrio. So, these are the different shape of bacteria. From this shape, one can identify the type of bacteria. So, in addition to this, if you see the structure or what are the component of bacteria is there, its structure will give us the idea how actually the bacteria looks like. If you see the bacteria structure, find it is made of three, it is a 3 layer is there. So, everybody should practice this. So, if you see, so first one you can have the inside one. So, from here you will find from here you will find we can just put 2 line. So, these are the some passes through which you will find some projection is going on. So, you can have this. The second layer you can have the second layer. You can have similarly, you can have the third layer. Okay. Now, this is you can put here the base position. This is the base. This is the base position. Okay. Now, this can be projected and can come like this. So, these are called your flagella. So, these are your flagella. Okay. Now, in addition to this, you are finding the 3 layers. Another you will find these are your fimbriae or pilus. You will find these are fimbriae or pilus. You will find. Okay. So, in center you will find there is a infolding like this structure. This is your nucleus. Then what I was telling, the infolding of a plasma membrane. This is your mesosomes. Then you will find these are your polysomes. These are called your ribosomes. In addition to this, these are the fat globules, or you can say lipid globules. Sorry, these are the lipid globules. So, these are your cytoplasms. So, these are your cytoplasms. Now, if you label it from this, you can identify first one is your this is your slime layer, the slime layer or your envelope outside. the second one is your cell wall, the third one is your plasma membrane. So, 3 layers we are getting. And if we talk about this, this one is your basal body, this one is your basal body, second one is called your hook, third one is called your filament, and all these 3 conform your flagellum. This is called your flagellum, the 3 part of these things. So, these are your lipid globule, these are your cytoplasm, this is your ribosomes, these are your polysomes. And one important thing you will find, since in these membranes you will find the respiratory enzymes are there. Respiratory enzymes are present. In the plasma membrane, you will find the respiratory enzymes are there. So, and this is the most important part of our this is called your nucleoid. This is your nucleoid, nucleoid is there. So, in addition to this, other organelles are there, but this is how you can say the structure of a bacteria, that is from the particularly after the electron microscope coming to the limelight, lot of things we could be able to know about these structures. So, what particularly you are finding, the no membrane bound organelle like Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, these organelles are not found here. So, this is your pilus, what I have seen, this is called pilus. Okay. So, this is gives us the structures of the bacteria, and in addition to this you will find their plasmid is there. So, plasmid, which is a vector, that is called your extra chromosomal DNA, in a ring form or a circular form, and particularly it is F plasmid or R plasmid, or sometimes it is also C plasmid, that is called plasmid. So, what we will particularly find this plasmid, which is a self replicating and double stranded circular DNA, which act as a vector, particularly in the you will find, which is various use in the field of biotechnology. So, this gives us the idea how actually the bacteria structure is there, and in addition to this, what we can say, the basis of its cellular composition. Now, there can be 2 group of bacteria, 2 group we can say, one is called your gram positive and another is called gram negative, that we can now confirm. So, what is actually the gram positive and gram negative? Now, we must be knowing that this peptidoglycan, which is in the cell wall composition, that is going to play a role that develop the coloration. So, if you see, particularly when we want to differentiate the bacteria, we use particularly a gram stain. A gram stain is used. When you use this gram stain, you will find it is the blue or purple. ଯଦି ବ୍ଲୁ ଅର୍ ପର୍ପୁଲ୍ ଆସିଲା କେତେବେଳେ ନା ଗ୍ରାମ ଷ୍ଟେନ୍ ଦିଆଯିବ ପ୍ଲସ୍ ତାକୁ ଆମେ କ'ଣ କରିବୁ ଆବସଲ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ଆଲକୋହଲରେ ୱାଶ୍ କରିବୁ, କଲା ପରେ ଯଦି ସେ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ଼ରେ ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ୍ ନେଇଥିବା ସେ ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲରେ ଯଦି ବ୍ଲୁ ଅର୍ ପର୍ପୁଲ୍ ଆସିଲା ତାକୁ ଆମେ କହିବା ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଗ୍ରାମ ପଜିଟିଭ୍। ଏଇଠି କ'ଣ ହେବ ସେ କଲର୍ ଯଦି ଇଟ୍ ଡୁ ନଟ୍ ରିଟେନ୍, ଏ କଲର୍ ରହିବ ନାହିଁ, ଡୁ ନଟ୍ ରିଟେନ୍ ଦିସ୍ କଲର୍, then you will find that it is gram negative. Second point hochi the wall is ethi kon hochi wall is single layer, the wall is 2 layer. Similarly, here thickness is 20 to 80 nanometer, here it is 8 to 12 nanometer. That means lipid content is low, lipid content is high. Now, depending upon this peptidoglycan constituents, now this bacteria can be grouped into two groups, that is gram positive and gram negative. So, what I was telling also, after flagellin there is called Pili or Fimbri, Pili or we can say Pili, P-I-L-L-I, Pili or Fimbri. So, that is particularly if you will see this, it is a tubular outgrowths that particularly helps in the particularly the F loss, that is the fertility factors, that actually identifying this helps, that particularly helps in the attachment as well as in the fertility factors. Okay, next we will go to the reproduction in bacteria, where you can see the reproduction particularly are two types, that is your sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, and as well as you will find there is a this asexual reproduction is again of two types, and the sexual reproduction particularly is absent, but here genetic recombination takes place. Here genetic recombination takes place. So, if you see this bacterial reproduction, you will find, if you see this bacterial reproduction, you will find it is two types, one is asexual reproduction, say another one is sexual reproduction. So far this asexual reproduction is concerned, when it is favorable condition is there, it will go for the binary fission. The binary fission, another is the spore formation, which is basically called as the endospore formation. Similarly, binary fission, you have similarly one cell. Now it will go for double, so you will find this portion will divide, you will find one, here another. Spore formation, similarly in the post center you will find one, core, then different layers you will find. So this is called your endospore. Particularly under unfavorable conditions, it will go for this sort of things. So it will go for the sexual reproduction, which is called as the genetic recombination. The genetic recombination, which is of three types, that is called your transformation, second one is transduction, third one is called your conjugation. So, start from conjugation, when the two bacterial cells are come contact with each other, there will be contact, this genetic material will get transferred, here there will be a conjugation tube will form. So, there will be exchange of materials. So, the physical contact will take place between them. So, this is conjugation. If you will see the transformation method, you will find it will absorb the DNA from the surrounding medium. So, surrounding ru kon karibo, that bacteria will absorb the DNA, so it will integrated with that one, and that process is called the transformations. Whereas transduction is through a vector or through a virus, that is transduction you will find it is through a vector or particularly through a virus, through a bacteriophage, particularly who carried out these things. So, in detail we have to learn these things, that transformation, transduction, conjugation, spore formation, that is endospore formation, and binary fission is the overall, that is whole about the bacteria. So, in addition to this, we have to know that what are the cyanobacteria, and another one is mycoplasma under this category of Monera. So, that we have to understood, that is another two, that is your cyanobacteria, second one is called your mycoplasma. So, if you see cyanobacteria, these are also called the blue green algae. These are the blue green algae, and if you see this cyanobacteria, this blue green algae, these are the gram negative bacteria. They are photosynthetic prokaryotic organism, prokaryotic organisms, and particularly they can produce their own food. Autotrophic organism, you can say, they can autotrophic organisms, and particularly the example of your cyanobacteria, nostoc, your Annavena, then your oscillatoria, okay, and your spirulina. So, you will find if a very interesting things, if you take the structure of a cyanobacteria, you will find the structure is like this, but in these portions sometimes you will find elongated cells, and these are in between this one structure is there called as heterocyst, and now heterocyst. Actually what happens, these blue green algae are basically very important for the nitrogen fixation. They helps in fixation of nitrogen, they convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the usable form. So, by use it increase the fertility. But this group of organisms have a special structure called heterocyst, which actually prohibit the oxygen to enter into the cell, because oxygen can be oxygen will damage the nitrogenase enzymes. So, but the heterocyst helps it to do this one. So, these cyanobacteria are very important. Spirulina, you will find that food supplement as we are using. Similarly, other things are also being used. So, if you take the mycoplasma, which is also called a pleuropneumonia like organism, PPLO, which is called a pleuromorphic, because it change its shape. It can change, because why? Because it has no cell wall. That is why it can change its shape. Its size is very less, that is 0.1 to 0.15 micromu, and you will find particularly it causes pneumonia in animals and human beings. So, if you see this organism is a very interesting one. So, next part we will go to the kingdom Protista. So, in the kingdom Protista, if you will see particularly the diatoms, the algae, and your protozoans are there. So, we can have a discussion on this kingdom Protista. If you see the kingdom Protista, these are the actually proposed by your Ernest Haeckel, must have studied earlier in 1866, and these are the connecting link between the Monera and eukaryotes. Monera and eukaryote, they are the connecting link. These are, you can say, the single celled eukaryotic organisms, and particularly they are aquatic habitat. They have aquatic habitat. These are, so we can say unicellular, you can say the important is unicellular single celled eukaryotic organisms, aquatic habitat. So, particularly we can say the planktons. Okay. So, this is 1, this is 2. Third, we can say the nutrition. So, basing upon the nutrition, these prokaryotes can be 2 types. One is called the phototrophic, that is, or we can say the photosynthetic. So, that means they can carry out photosynthesis. So, basing upon the photosynthesis, we can say they can be 2 types, phytoplankton, another is zooplankton. That means you must be knowing phytoplankton means it has chlorophyll, it has it has plastid, and you will find there is photosynthesis. Here is no chlorophyll, no plastid, no photosynthesis. So, that means depending upon the photosynthesis, you will find this there are 2 graphs, one is phytoplankton, another is zooplankton. Similarly, we can take the example of euglena, which is a very good example. If we take presence of light the light thibo, presence of light, it will go for photosynthesis. If there is absence of light, it will go for another mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic, it will depend upon others. So, you see how the group of organism changes for its nutritions. Similarly, fourth one, if you take its characters, that is cell wall composition, you will find is slime mold. If you take a very good example, slime mold, it is a vegetative phase, there is no cell wall, but in the reproductive phase it has cell wall. That means cell wall may be present sometimes, and depending upon its requirement, you see how cell wall also carry out the. Then if you see the cellular organisms, there are two type of envelope. One is plasma membrane, then membrane bound organelles. ଯେତିକି membrane bound organelle ଅଛି ଏବଂ plasma membrane ରେ you will find there are two envelope is there in this group of organisms. Then if you see the cellular cell organelles माने एटी सब सेल आसीजिवो membrane bound organelle आसिले के आसीबो mitochondria, your chloroplast, your Golgi bodies, your endoplasmic reticulum. So, all these organelles are coming under these categories. So, if you see the respiration, if you see there is aerobic respiration. Okay. In addition to this, if you see one important characters, that is called flagella is there. We have seen in Protista the flagella is one strand, but in Monera, but here you will find the flagella is 11, that is 9 plus 2 strand or 2 pattern, but and this flagella it is made of, you will find made of tubulin, that was flagellin, this is tubulin protein. This is very important, student, you should remember. Next one you will find that is reproduction. The reproduction process in this group you will find asexual as well as sexual method of reproduction. So, these are the unique characters of this Protista group, and if you see the example, particularly we will take this Protista category, you will find these three things you will find. One is your first one will see the photosynthetic, second one will see the consumers or the decomposers, third one is the protozoans. So, we can take the example of these categories. So, you can say we can take this Protista into three category. Protista, first one will see the photosynthetic, second one will see the consumers or the decomposers, third one will see your protozoans. Now, if you see the photosynthetic one, you will find this category, you can say your dinoflagellates are there. Under these dinoflagellates, these are the important component of the phytoplanktons. These are the important component of your phytoplanktons. These are particularly in the marine or freshwater. Freshwater you will find particularly your gymnodinium, particularly the red tide you are finding, the red tide which you are finding, the sea water is looking red because of this dinoflagellate. Another is your Chrysophyta. The Chrysophyta you will find your diatoms and your desmoids. We must be knowing the diatoms are the algae, which particularly if you take a very good example, gote blue whale भितरे तार ओजन होचे 60 टन, ता भितरे जदि देखिबा ता खाद्य थिबो 2 टन रो फाइटोप्लैंक्टन, ता गट रे थिबो 2 टन फाइटोप्लैंक्टन, तो 2 टन होचो diatoms. So, how much particularly the phytoplanktons the sea organisms are taking, that you can imagine. So, in addition to this, similarly you can take the euglenids under this category. Okay, if you take the consumers into consideration, this consumer you will find your slime mold is there, and you must be knowing the slime molds, that is the fungal and animals, and in under the protozoan we can consider particularly your the paramecium and your malaria parasite. So, these are the example that we can consider under protista when we are discussing in detail. So, next we will move to the third one, that is the about fungi. So, if you see the classifications of fungi, you will see that one, that is the largest kingdom you can say. So, if you see the characteristics of fungi, so you can say the kingdom fungi. So, you will find this is the largest kingdom, you will find these are the singular is fungus, and the branch of science which deals with the fungus is called as mycology. You will find here the cell wall is made of chitin, okay, and you will find the storage food material is your glycogen, that is the your reserve food material, and you will find the heterotrophic mode of nutrition you must be knowing, okay, and you will find these are cosmopolitan, that means they are present everywhere, and you will find in them the one of the unicellular fungi is your yeast. As a very good example you will find, that is sugar you have taken or carbohydrate you have taken, and if you are adding this in the process of fermentation, carbon dioxide and ethanol is produced. Now, this carbon dioxide in the dough, it is when that is dried, the yeast is removed and it makes soften the bakery things. So, if you will see, this is one example of the unicellular fungi. Similarly, the fungi, they particularly cause lot of diseases, and you will find some of the diseases like your white rust and your particularly wheat rust, that is wheat rust disease, your Poxinia graminis, and similarly leaf spot disease in mustard. So, these are the some of the characters that fungi they play, and if you see one of the very good example of your fungi is your mushroom. If you take the example of a mushroom, you will find that these are the below these are the hypha. So, this hypha and the above portion you will find this is the fruiting body. So, this is the fruiting body, and if you will find that network of hypha, particularly the hypha can be septate or coenecytic. Okay. Now, this hypha it will form the network is known as, that is called your mycelium, and this fruiting body particularly below above the ground small portion is there, and the major portion is there in the ground, and you will find so far the nutrition of a fungi is concerned, that you will find there are two types of nutrition, three types of nutritions, that is saprophytic, parasitic, and your symbiotic. If you see saprophytic, parasitic, and symbiotic, and very good example of this symbiotic is your lichen, where algae and fungi are attached with them. So, fungi is also associated with the higher plants, they form mycorrhiza, and if you see this, and we will see this classifications, that is kingdom fungi classifications, and this we can give you a very good idea about this one, that is you can say this is called sexual reproduction in fungi is not known. ଆମେ ଜାଣିନେ ସେଇଟାକୁ, ସେଇ जो ग्रुप को कहले that is called Deuteromycetes, that is called fungi imperfect. ये हला गोटे ग्रुप आउ जे रहिले जो मानकर सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इज नोन सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इज नोन सो ताकू आमे कोन कलु दी भाग रे कलु गोटे हला फाइकोमाइकोटा दैट इज लो फंजाई another asila mycelium septa or eumycota. Then this group again divided into oomycetes. This is called your zoomycetes. Now this is again this is another group is called your higher fungi. The higher fungi particularly are your ascomycota or ascomycetes. Another is Basidiomycetes. Now, if you overall see the fungi, there are 4 types you will find, that is your Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes. Fourth one is your Deuteromycetes. Now, these are the 4 groups you will find. And particularly these Phycomycetes, they carry out their reproduction through zoospores, Ascomycetes through ascospores, Basidiomycetes through basidiospores, and these have no spore. And if you see the example of a Phycomycetes, is these are called your Albigocandida. Similarly, if you take the Ascomycetes, your yeast and penicillium, I mean penicillium notatum that is there. Next is your mushroom, that is your mushroom. Au asibata under we can have rust, different rust, smut. Okay. Similarly, Deuteromycetes रे आमे आसीबा आम जो red rot of sugar cane आखुरे नाली गाइथबो red rot of sugar cane आमर early blight of potato, Alternaria solani. So these are some of the idea on fungi. So if you see these characteristics of this group of organism, now they have things they can also cause a lot of diseases. So in the next class I will talk about the lichens and the remaining portions of some of the fungi and how the plant has been classified. Thank you, students.